This feels like Kelsey Mitchell was trying to lose this game. I know she wasn't. But it's one of those things where it's like, um, it's a like it could it just looks like someone trying to lose. Let's take a watch.
Kelsey Mitchell is a talented scorer, but she might have the worst.
She is not only a talented scorer, when she feels like it, she is a talented cutter. She is a 5 out of 10 defender. She is, when she wants to be, she's
the full breakdown of Kelsey Mitchell's fourth quarter against Chicago reveals a performance that was significantly worse than it appeared. In the moment, 4 separate possessions in the closing stretch produced decisions that individually could have ended the game, and collectively nearly did. The sequence began with a steal, while Indiana held a 5-point lead with roughly a minute remaining. The correct read in that situation is to secure possession and bleed the clock down to a quality shot. Instead, Mitchell drove directly into 2 defenders and attempted a contested right-handed layup that failed to reach the rim.
She is a 5 out of 10 defender. She is, when she wants to be, she's the best cutter in the league. I cannot stress that enough. Is that like, we are Kelsey Mitchell realizing I'm an off-ball player away from the Fever being the best offense in the league.
Basketball IQ of anyone I've ever seen. Look at this play here. She gets the steal, and the Fever are up by 5 with a minute left. So in this situation, all you want to do is hold it and bleed the clock and get a good shot. But no, she drives into the paint over.
Yeah, I don't know what she was trying to do there. She shot a right-handed contested layup and didn't even hit the rim. Like, I didn't.
The turnover was followed almost immediately by a Chicago score that cut the lead. With the Fever still up 3 and 7 seconds on the clock, the ball came to Mitchell on the inbound. Indiana needed nothing more than for the ball to be controlled and a foul drawn. Mitchell had her eyes on the rim. She was visibly considering a shot attempt, and because of that, her focus on controlling the ball slipped, resulting in another turnover that Chicago converted into a game-tying basket.
And a right-handed contested layup and didn't even hit the rim. Like, I did not know. I remember watching it and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? Like, that was to win the game.
2 defenders at 5'8", and it's a turnover. This is genuinely worse than the Fox play. They're up by 3 here with 7 seconds left.
Maisha and Allen fall for passing her the ball.
All they have to do is inbound the ball and hold it because they're going to get fouled. Look at how she's looking at the rim. She was genuinely going to shoot this ball, and because of that, she doesn't control it, and it's a turnover. I've never seen anyone.
And by the way, we got to be very.
Those 2 plays were the most consequential, but they were not the only problems earlier in the same stretch. With the Fever ahead by 7, Mitchell drew 2 defenders while driving and had both Aaliyah Boston and Maisha Hines-Allen completely open with room to operate. The pass never came. She continued dribbling, circling without purpose. The kind of ball movement that stalls an offense rather than advances it on a separate possession while trying to contest a Chicago shot attempt without committing a foul. She first hooked a player's arm and then, when a second opportunity arose, pushed another shooter in the back.
Be clear, she also didn't foul as they hit a game-tying shot. They hit a game-tying shot right after the turnover, and she did not foul. That also has to be taken into account.
Dribble the air out of the basketball more than Mitchell. Look at how she drives and draws 2, and she's got Aaliyah Boston and Hines-Allen both wide open with tons of space to make the pass, but she just doesn't. Fever up by 7.
Like, this is what I always joke, and
The result was a 3-shot foul, 4 possessions, 4 outcomes that pushed the game toward overtime rather than a regulation Indiana win. The broader issue is structural. Mitchell is a genuinely talented scorer and, when engaged off the ball, one of the sharper cutters in the league. In 2024, there were stretches where she functioned almost entirely as a catch-and-shoot threat, finding open space while Caitlin Clark handled creation, and when the ball did not come her way, immediately relocating rather than initiating.
Like, this is what I always joke, and I was like, against the Liberty, she did this at least 4 times. Like, it's not even just a Nash dribble waiting for a cutter. She literally just runs laps. Like, I joke about that, and I'm saying she is just running laps of the court. Kelsey Mitchell, when she initiates the offense, running laps is not a crazy thing.
Air out of the basketball more than Mitchell. Look at how she drives and draws too, and she's got Aaliyah Boston and Hines Allen both wide open with tons of...
That version of Mitchell made Indiana's offense harder to guard. What has emerged this season looks different. Mitchell is operating as a primary ball handler and decision maker in significant stretches, particularly when opponents use zone coverage, and Clark moves without the ball. As a decision maker in those moments, the results have been inconsistent at best. She is a scorer by instinct, not a facilitator, and the difference between those two things becomes critical when a game is being decided in the final 90 seconds.
Draws too, and she's got Aaliyah Boston and Hines Allen both wide open with tons of space to make the pass, but she just doesn't.
In fairness, she has a 6'3" and a 6'6" player on her. That's not the easiest pass to make. It's not. She still should have lobbed it into Aaliyah, but it's not. Like, Caitlin makes that pass, but like Kelsey's not a good passer. It's not an easy pass to make.
Fever up by 7 here with a minute left. You know the Sky are going to try to get something quick. All you got to do is contest without fouling. But Mitchell hooks the arm of this Sky player here. That could have well been a foul.
I kind of wish that was a foul. Because at least if that's a foul, Natasha Cloud goes.
The comparison that comes closest is a high-usage scorer who is most effective operating within a structure that limits unnecessary decision points. Shoot when open, attack when the lane is clear, and defer everything else. The Indiana offense works at its highest level when Clark and Boston are the primary options, and Mitchell's role is to punish defensive attention that shifts away from them. What does not work is treating her as the player responsible for generating offense in late-game situations. When the defense has time to set and prepare, whether this reflects a deliberate coaching choice or an organic breakdown in roles as the season has progressed, is unclear. What is clear is that the Fever's best basketball and Mitchell's best basketball look like the same thing, and neither of them requires her to have the ball in her hands when the game is on the line.
I wish that was a foul. Because at least if that's a foul, Natasha Cloud goes to the line for the hack and shack instead of what actually happens.
And then when the Sky player gets the ball to shoot it, Mitchell puts her hand on her back, basically shoving her, and that's a 3-shot foul. Horrible IQ.
Like, she made 4 game-losing plays. 4 plays that you're like, these are game-losing plays. These are game-losing plays. And it's like, you don't want to see this. You just don't. Like, I would love for Kelsey Mitchell to just...
Reports from multiple sources suggest that the final possession in the Fever's most recent close game was not executed as designed. According to accounts circulating after the game, the intended play mirrored what Indiana ran against Washington, a setup designed to get Caitlin Clark a game-winning look, the same blueprint that produced her logo 3 in that earlier matchup. Allegedly, the call was changed at the last moment by Stephanie White, and the ball ended up in Kelsey Mitchell's hands through a pass from Myisha Hines Allen. After the possession ended, Clark walked to the bench visibly frustrated. White reportedly told her it would be okay.
You just don't. Like, I would love for Kelsey Mitchell to just be the perfect role player. I don't even want to say role player. The perfect third option. Because everybody has their role. Like, if she played the Michael Porter Jr. role, where it's like, look, your touches are going to be limited, but when you touch it, go get buckets. Go get buckets. Like, when you if you touch the ball, you have free reign to shoot it.
Clark's response, according to those present, was that it would not be. That sequence has reopened a broader conversation about Mitchell's decision making and specifically about the gap between her ability as a scorer and her processing of game situations. Sophie Cunningham addressed something adjacent to this in a press conference not long ago.
Of that play, we see Caitlin Clark walk to the bench. Stephanie White said it's going to be okay. Caitlin Clark said, no, it's not. But something that I have given thought to and something that I've come across is that Kelsey Mitchell basketball IQ just ain't there all the way. Now, we know when Sophie Cunningham did her tell-all rant, Sophie Cunningham let it be known there's a lot of players that need to get the IQ right. You know, she said that in a press conference.
With the Fever ahead by 5 and under a minute remaining, Mitchell with a steal, a possession that should have ended the game. Instead of holding the ball and forcing a foul, she drove into the paint against 2 defenders and turned it over on a separate play, with the Fever up 3 and 7 seconds left in the game. The only required action was to receive the inbound and force a foul. Mitchell had her eyes on the rim, appeared ready to attempt a shot, lost control of the ball, and gave it away. There is also footage of a possession where she drove and drew 2 defenders, with both Aaliyah Boston and Hines Allen completely open in space, and still did not make the pass.
A lot of players that need to get the IQ right. You know, she said that in a press conference. There's a lot of players that just don't understand the fundamentals of basketball. See, it's one thing to put the ball in a hole and find a way to get to the basket, but it's another way to analyze the game and let your brain be a data center for that game. And there's several players, like I stated, that don't have that data installed in their brains. And I just hate to say this, but I have to be completely honest with you guys. Kelsey Mitchell is that player, one of the players.
And in a game against the Chicago Sky with a 7-point lead and under a minute to play, she fouled a Sky player on a 3-point attempt, first grabbing the arm, then making contact on the back, resulting in 3 free throws when the only requirement was a clean contest. These are not plays where athleticism or scoring touch factor in. They are decisions made under pressure in situations where the correct choice is relatively straightforward that consistently come out wrong. The pattern is what has made this a recurring topic rather than a one-game observation. The deeper structural issue is about fit and system.
They just do not have the data to process the game in its entirety. Hence possibly why she don't ever pass the ball, because she might not even know herself where players are going to be. She might not even know herself if a player is going to be open in the corner, in the back, behind her. It's just so many different things that she's done to convince me and a lot of you guys that just maybe her basketball IQ is not there yet. Now, is she a grass?
The theory gaining traction is that Clark has grown frustrated, not just with individual play calls, but with the overall offensive framework. Stephanie White is running. The argument is that Clark understands what the offense is capable of when it runs through her and Boston in the pick and roll, has seen the results when it operates that way, and finds it difficult to accept a system that repeatedly moves away from that, whether that tension is being expressed openly or showing up indirectly through body language. And on-court reactions is harder to confirm, but the on-court evidence makes the frustration comprehensible regardless. Communicate internally. Clark's statistical production, it is worth noting, has come across roughly a year and a half of actual playing time when accounting for her injury absence. The records being broken and the impact being registered have been compressed into a shortened window.
Great basketball player, Yes, she is. But when it comes to analyzing the game on the line, we know damn well she really don't need the ball, man. She definitely should not be the person to get the ball. Now, fans are definitely mad. Not only is fans mad at Stephanie White again, they're mad at Lynn Dunn. Because what more do we need to see to realize this whole Caitlin?
The implication is that the ceiling has not been reached, that a full, uninterrupted Siat operating in a system built around her capabilities would produce something significantly beyond what has been seen so far. The front office, Lynn Dunn included, is drawing criticism for allowing the current situation to persist without intervention. The argument being made is that cosmetic adjustments, a tweak here, a different play call there, are not going to resolve what is fundamentally a coaching and roster construction problem. The holes are structural. Winning a few games in a row can obscure that temporarily, but the underlying issues surface again the moment the competition gets harder or the margin for error shrinks.
Clark and Stephanie White thing, it ain't working. No matter how much you guys try to put a Band-Aid on this, no matter how much you guys try to get a first aid kit out and fix it, and you might win a game or two here, the holes and the flaws are still there, and we're damn near going into month 3. Because month 3 of the WNBA season is next month. And we ultimately know what happened last July. On July 13th, that was Caitlin Clark's final basketball game. That is a month from tomorrow. It'll make a year. Caitlin Clark was out that game, and we never seen Caitlin Clark no more the entire season. So when you talk about how great of a player Caitlin Clark is, all these greatest 10 points games plus, 20-point games plus assists, Caitlin Clark has broken all of these records with only a year and a half worth of basketball. This is startling to know, because had she not got hurt, she would have been still digging a hole so deep no one would have been going down there trying to catch her. Now, I'm not saying that the records that she's breaking now will be broke, but I'm just saying the impact would have been a hell of a lot deeper. Because I gave it some thought, man, and it got to be a reason why. It just got to be a reason why Stephanie White is doing what she's doing. But I don't want to believe that it's the alphabet mafia. I don't want to believe because Caitlin Clark is straight. To me, that's just too far left. I don't want to believe anything that's too far left. It got to be a reason. I believe Caitlin Clark